want to. Hey everybody, so welcome to Soul Tribe Huddle. It's the 8th of May 2019. Can't believe how fast the year's going by. Apparently it's only 36 days till conference. Bloody hell, I don't know where that's gone. It's just completely whizzed by, and we'll be there in Melbourne before we know it, creating FOMO for everyone else who's not there. Great. So tonight, what I wanted to do was I wanted to just go over, hey Kieran, how are you, honey? So I just wanted to go over, there's something, I get some really good learnings from some of our MLM gurus, as I like to call them. And tonight I have some really cool stuff that I got from Simon Chan, whom I've actually been using myself as well. So basically what this is seven ways that we can actually create we can create more customers and more potential teams. So people are more likely to be attracted to us and want to buy our product or want to join our team. So there's 7 ways that we can do that are pretty simple, and when we think about it, we're doing most of it on a daily basis anyway. So what I might do actually is you might want to get yourself some paper, pen and paper, but I might just actually write them up on here because whiteboards are cool. I like using my whiteboard. And then you guys can see it, so you don't have to ask me what it is again if I'm talking too fast. Hopefully I won't talk too fast. So the first one, and this is how it goes, they are like this. The C, class, oh hang on, I've made them too big. Oh, that's not going to work, can't make it too big. This running backwards is not cool. A, S, S, R, so it's classer, which is a bit weird, but anyway, that's how it is. Okay, can you see that? It's not back to front, eh? It's all right? Okay, cool. Okay, so the first way that we can help attract more people and to want to buy our product or join our team is through commitment. That's the first word. That's our C word. I wish I had a stand on this and then I don't have to hold the blooming thing. So when we think about commitment, what are some really good ways that we do? So when we decide that we're going to commit to something, what do? There's a number of things that we do. We basically decide to do it and get into action, right? That's one way that we commit. But a really good way for us to actually commit to do something, because sometimes we can say, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, and then not actually get into action, or we might get into action for a few days or a couple of weeks, and then it might just kind of fall off the wagon, and we might not have that commitment to continue. But what I've found with myself is as soon as you write it down, then it becomes more of a commitment. So if you write it down, it's like doing our vision boards. When we have something in front of us and we can see what it is that we want, so why are we doing what we're doing every day, we can see it there, we're more likely to want to achieve that. We're more likely to get into action to actually achieve that. Another really good way that we do this is we do this by telling someone. So, I don't know if you've noticed that, and, often in Team Love, Kat will say, so what do you guys want? What are your goals? Or even sometimes in the trainings that we get from HO, often they will ask us, so tell us your goals. And so not only are you telling them your goals, but you're also writing them down. So that is making you more accountable to someone else, not just to yourself. So writing it down is making yourself more accountable, but actually... Sir Pete, gosh. But actually telling someone else also makes you more accountable, and it really does help you to commit to what it is that you're wanting to do, to what you're wanting to create. And so how can we do this when we think about our own business? How can we relate commitment to our own business and, offering that to our potential customers or our potential team? So a really good way that we can do it is when we have like a customer call, so when we decide that, when we've set up a customer call with somebody, or even a potential call, a three-way call or something, what we can do is we can actually use, so in Messenger, I don't know if you guys have ever used this, but there is a way that we can schedule an appointment. And so obviously what I do is I write it in my diary straight away, so I've got it there. But this is encouraging the other person to actually make that commitment to you. And so what you can do is set up a scheduled appointment for that time in Messenger, so they're going to get those reminders. So they'll get a reminder, I think it's a day before, and then they'll get a reminder like an hour before, then they'll get a reminder on the time, so they actually can't forget that they've got a call with you. And so that helps them to commit a little bit more. So I've actually only used this a couple of times, but I'm actually going to use this every time now, because it's a really good way. How many people have, set up calls and people have just not really shown up, or just completely forgotten. Yeah, I get that too. That's, and I mean, yeah, there's a certain amount of how committed are they to it, because how much value do they see in it as well. So there's that as well. But this is just going to help encourage them to commit more. So another really good way of doing it, so when we think about, if someone says to you, and God, I get this all the time, okay, you've got on a call with them and they're like, oh, yep, I really want the product, or, I'd really love to join the business, but, I need to have some time to think about it, or I don't quite have the money now, but I'll have the money in a couple of weeks' time. How many times do we get that? I get that a lot. So what you can do is you can say to them, well, hey, how about I take all your details now, all your details and your credit card details and everything, and then you give me a date, and then that date I can pop your details straight in, so we don't have to jump on a call again. We don't have to go through the same as what we've just been through. It makes it so much easier. We can just pop it in. And I tell you what, that does work. I have done that quite a few times, and that is also a way for them to commit to you and commit to actually being on the product, trying the product and jumping into the biz. So there's some really good examples of how you can create that commitment, because it's also a professionalism. You want to actually create this professional, because it's not just, when we work online and we're working in our warm market, sometimes it's really easy, especially when we've got our friends, it's really easy just to be kind of lax about it and, a bit casual. But we really want to make sure we've got that kind of professionalism there as well, where we're going, actually, this is a business and I'm here to help you, and this is a service that I'm providing. So that's all part of it as well. So the next way that we can create more people to, I hope I'm spelling these right. Mind you, I was top of the class in my spelling, so I'm sure I'm spelling them all right. Another way that we can help to attract people to us is by being likable. So everybody likes people that are nice, right? Everybody likes people that are, that you really like what they do, you like who they are. And so think about like some companies that use celebrities to endorse their product. I heard just the other day on telly, not that I watch telly that often, but there's something that stood out to me, and that is this. A couple of women decided they were going to buy this product because they thought it was endorsed by a celebrity. It turned out it was a scam, but the thing is, the only reason why they bought it was because of that celebrity, because they thought, well, it's hers, I really like her, so I'm going to buy it. And it is so true. How many times do we like, oh yeah, I want to buy this product off that person because I like that person, and they trust you. And so that's the person that you need to be. You need to be that person who they like. So when they like you, they're more likely to come and try your product or join your team, right? Because they want to be part of whatever it is that you are doing. And they trust you. That's the other thing too. Being likable means that they trust you more. So when you think about it in your own business, so So make yourself likable so that, you know, obviously I've just mentioned that they want to attract, they're attracted to you. Another way that you can do it is by creating rapport. So, and this is all part of our reaching out to people, making new friends, right? We're creating rapport through building relationships. And we can do that by finding a commonality. So something that we have in common with that person, and that's a really excellent and quick way to build rapport with somebody. And that is something that we do in our three-way calls, is when we first jump on it with someone, we actually want to just talk a little bit about, find out more about them, and then find something that we have in common with so that we can build that rapport really quickly. Because if it's the first time you've met someone, it's a little bit difficult to do that. So that's the easiest way to do that. Another way that you can do it is by having a likable profile. So it's really, really important, guys, to have a profile picture that's got a picture of your face and you're smiling and you look happy and you're open, and people can go, wow, she looks really nice, or he looks really nice. I like that person. I want to connect with them. And, you know, don't go past that, you know, actually a profile picture doesn't mean anything. It means everything in the world. And think about what it is that you've got on your profile. So, you know, what is your quotes that you've got on there? What are your favorite photos you've got on there? You want to show yourself as being that likable person, that someone, you know, that people are going to look at and go, wow, I really want to be friends with that person. And that's just part of that creating building that relationship. So the other thing is by posting, you know, what are you posting? So, you know, are you posting things where people are more likely to be attracted to what you're doing, to be inspired by what you're doing, to get some value from what you're sharing? And also when you're in groups. So in your interest groups, when you're posting in there, make sure that your interest groups kind of align with who you are, and that they are, and whatever you're posting in there is really, you know, positive, inspiring stuff rather than negative stuff. I know I've just had to unfollow my cousin's husband because he's just so negative, and everything he posts is negative about, you know, he hates cyclists, he hates Asians, he hates the Labour Party, he's just hating on everybody, and every post he does is so negative. And I just think, and you know, and he hates people, that's the other thing, he hates people. But you know, he's got a beautiful heart for animals. He just loves animals and will melt with animals. And I just think, why can't you just post nice things about animals? If you can't find anything nice to post about that. And so I've gone, I actually don't want to be around you because you're so negative. So think about that. And I'm not saying you guys are negative, because you're totally not. Your posts are amazing, and they're always very inspiring and positive. But just think about that even in your group. So are you in a group that you find is quite negative, and do you find that you are also kind of posting stuff that could be a little bit better because you know that you vibe with your tribe? So if you're in there and everyone else is the same and you kind of tend to do the same things, so if it doesn't feel right for you, don't be in that group. Find something that works for you. Okay, so that's creating likability. So the next way that we can do this is authority. So this is by being an authority. And so think about the authority figures that we have in society, you know, like the police, you know, lawyers, doctors, celebrities even, you know, they are an authority, and people are more likely to listen to them than they are anyone else. So for example, how many times do we have customers that decide they'd rather listen to their doctors than us because they know more about health than we do? And the only difference is they're a doctor. So, you know, and not saying that we actually know all about their medical conditions and everything, because we don't, obviously, but, you know, unless you're a nurse. But, you know, in terms of, you know, because we don't have a qualification, we aren't wearing a white coat and carrying a stethoscope, you know, we're just an ordinary looking person. Someone, Joe Blogs, is more likely to listen to them than they are to us. So that is what an authority figure is. So for us, we need to be that authority figure to people. And the way we do this, so how do we do this through our business? So we do this through teaching other people. And this is something that is really, really, really simple, but really effective. And that's through like lives. So doing lives and just talking about something that you are strong in, something that really you feel like you can teach other people. And it might only be something little, like, I don't know, teaching someone how to meditate, like on a live. I don't know, like, let's take Kieran Young's example today of, you know, growing herself in that beautiful post in the customer group today, Kieran. So, you know, that little thing, and it only needs to be like 5 minutes, but just, or even an educational post. So something where you are teaching them something. Another really good way to create that is having pictures or photos on your wall of the leaders in your team. So the leaders in our team, and also of us going to events, because people can see, oh, they're leaders and they're hanging out with leaders, so that must mean that they're actually up there and doing really well, and they see us more as an authority figure than if we're not. And another way of doing it too is, I know that a lot of people don't like doing this, but showing your awards. So when you get a promotion, putting it up there on your page and going, wow, look at this, I'm so excited, I've just achieved this. So be proud of it. And it's not just to grow an ego and go, look at me, I'm better than everyone else. It's just going, look, I'm actually creating something that's actually working, and I'm loving what I'm doing. And I'm learning and growing into a leader as I go. Or even just putting on your page what it is that you want to achieve in the business. So do you want to achieve a higher level? What do you want to grow into? Do you want to be, do you want to hang out with the leaders more? You know, what is it that you want to create? So that's really how you create an authority. The other one is social proof. This is a cool one. So social proof. So basically social proof is like, so the more people that do this, the more they think, oh yeah, that's pretty cool, that must be legit, right? So for example, if you go into a restaurant and you see that it's really busy, you're like, oh, well, this restaurant must be really good. They must have really good food, really good service, because there's lots of people in here. I mean, sometimes it's not that way at all. It might just be because it's cheap. But that's what most people think about when they go into a restaurant and they see it. They're more likely to go somewhere that's busier than somewhere that's not very busy at all. And so that's pretty much what social proof is about, is when other people are going. So the more people go, the more people, then, you know, people think, well, that must be a really good thing, and I've got to get onto that. So a really good way that we can create this in our biz is through like testimonials and stories of success in your business on your page. So, you know, what we're doing already, we're putting our testimonials up. We're also putting our biz stories up. So I hope you guys are putting your biz stories up. So what is it that you love about this biz? What is it that you want to create from this biz? What gets you excited for your future? And what are your goals and dreams? And also putting those into Facebook groups. So it's creating, and you don't have to go in and sell a product, but just if you're having a conversation with someone in an interest group, and I don't know, it might be a health and wellness one or something, and someone's talking about their health, and you can say, well, actually, I've had the same thing. I found exactly the same thing. And so it's just sharing your own experience and your own testimonial without actually going, you know, buy this product. It's really going to help you. It's more about sharing you. So, you know, the other thing is sharing other people's testimonials as well, because obviously when you share other people's testimonials, then they can go, oh, well, it's not just me. So it's not just you that's actually getting these results, but there's other people getting results from that as well. Okay, so the other way we can do it is through three-way calls. So this is really important for you guys who, you know, are needing your upline to help you with the three-way calls. Obviously, you know, once someone's seen an event, the next port of call is you jump on a three-way call with your upline. And these are really good because it shows the other person, it shows the potential that there is actually someone else in the business creating more income and actually making, you know, doing really well in it. So again, social proof. So the other, because what they're asking for, they're asking three things. They're asking, when a potential comes on, is this for real? Can I do this? And will you help me? So when they have that, when they see someone else, it's not just about your immediate upline, but it's about their upline and their upline, and that there's a big supportive community around them, and they are going to get that help. And they've seen that because you've heard it being talked about in the call. Okay, so and another thing that you want to post too is like pictures of events of lots of people. Like, for example, what I popped up last night after our Team Love training, I took a photo of the Zoom call with everyone's faces on there, that kind of thing. So they can go, oh, okay, so it's not just me going on about some scammy thing. It's actually real. There's actually people, you know, and lots of people in the team. And, you know, and of course, when we go to our local events as well, which is what we do, and the other thing, of course, is as your leader and the team, so when you have your own team, for any of you on here who've got your own team, you want to be taking them to events. So you want to take all your newbies to events so they can see that there are other team members. It's not just me, or it's not just you as the leader. So it's real. Okay, so the next one is scarcity. So, and this is a really interesting one. So scarcity is about that it's not necessarily available to them. So, and this is also about posture. So this is something that Simon Chan talks about a lot, about posture. So this is, say, for example, if someone, you know, like if you're posting something, and I've done this before, and you go, well, limited edition, there's only one of these, or you've only got today to put this through. So get it on now, or you can say, okay, I'm looking for 3 people. So, you know, like I do with the berry challenge, I'm looking for 3 people to do the berry challenge, or like I do with a shred, I'm looking for 5 people to do the shred. I tell you what, every single year I get 5 people to do the shred, every year. And that's just because I put it out there. And then as I get a new one come on, then I'll reduce it. Okay, now only looking for 4, now only looking for 3. And people go, oh, I've got to jump on that or I'm going to miss out. So that's what that is. It's about creating that that scarcity feeling, like they might miss out. You're creating FOMO in a way. You know, weekend only sale. So that's a really, really good one. So the other way that you can do it is also like by giveaways. So like, okay, for this day only, I'm going to give this away. You order this day only, I'm going to give this away. So anything where you know, they feel like they're going to miss out if they don't jump on this now. So when we think about it also with your business, so obviously that's for product, but when you think about for your business, so you can say something like on your post, you can just say, look, I'm just bringing on 3 new team this month. That's all. Just looking for 3 new team, or 2 new team, or 1 new team. And it doesn't matter if you bring on 2 new team and you're only looking for 1 in your post, because they don't need to know that you're actually looking for more than that anyway. But again, it's creating that scarcity feeling for them. Okay. So yeah, and the other thing, and this is what I've actually started doing myself, is, and I know I've had this conversation with Maxine before, what happens is when you start reaching out to people, or even when you start doing cold markets and advertising in cold markets, you find that you get people coming to you who you don't feel that will really resonate with what it is that you're wanting, or they won't really resonate with your team or your vibe in your team. And So, and even if they don't come back to you straight away, so like they're a bit slow on the messages and they come back on that, they might only give you like 1-word answers, or, you know, they just don't, you can actually go, you can give yourself a time frame. You can say, okay, I've got 3 days. And if this person hasn't come back to me and made a time for a call in 3 days or even 4 days, that's it. And you just say to them, look, I'm sorry, you've missed out. I've got all the applicants I need. Maybe next time. And that also helps you weed out who it is that you actually want in your team and who you don't want in your team. But what it can also do is so you can actually say to them, look, I've got, you know, this much time, and we need to, you know, you'll need to watch the video and make an appointment for a call within that time frame. And if they haven't done it in that time, then that's it. Often people will go, yeah, okay, and they'll actually make it happen because it's you're creating that scarcity. So I have actually found that. And also you're creating posture. So you're actually saying to them, actually, no, you need me more than I need you. So you don't have that desperation around having to get new team. Because when you've got that desperation, you're just going to get some real weirdos. And the other thing that I have done occasionally, so you guys might not want to do this when you first start. If you're still trying to create a team for yourself, it's probably not a good idea to be doing that to start with. But as you start bringing on new team, you know, you'll find it a lot easier to be able to say no to somebody. But another way that we can do this is by dangling a carrot. So, and I have done this a couple of times. So when you have someone who is interested in the business and maybe they've been sitting on the fence for quite a while and you know them quite well, what you can do is when you get a customer, you can say, hey, look, I've actually got a customer ready to sign up, ready to order their product. I'd love to give you this person as your first customer, but you will need to sign up today as a franchisee for us to do that, because they're wanting to put their order through now. I have done that for a friend. So for example, Cheryl, the lovely Cheryl over there, her friend and my friend Tanya has been sitting on the fence for almost a year now. And Cheryl is a friend of Tanya's. That's how I met Cheryl. And when Cheryl first decided she wanted to order this product, I sent Tanya a message and I said, hey, honey, how about we get you signed up? And Cheryl can be your first customer because she's ready to order a product. And so she was just about there and then decided not to. But it just offers them the opportunity to actually get started really strongly as well, so that they can get their promotion pretty quickly. Yeah, I know. We're still working on that one, I know. But anyway, so you can do that, and I wouldn't suggest you do this every time. I wouldn't do this with everyone. I would just do this with someone that you know. Obviously, Tanya's a friend, so, you know, I know her quite well, and I'd love to help her out. So just gauge that really to each person. So the other way, the last way that we do this is how do you say this? Reciprocity? Yeah, reciprocation. Thanks, babe. So helpful.
Reciprocity.
Thanks, Karen.
Welcome.
So that's basically, you know, giving and receiving, right? Giving and receiving, and that's what we do. That's all part of our biz. That's what we do. So you be nice to me, and I'll be nice to you back. So if you get great service, you will more likely to go back to that place or recommend it to somebody, right? I mean, you think about a nice restaurant that you go to, if the food's great, if the service is fantastic, you're like, yeah, I'm going back there. And you tell all your friends, go to that restaurant, it's so good. Well, this is exactly the same thing. So and again, we can come back to that likability stuff as well. So when we're likable, you know, people are more likely to come to us. And so, you know, we're going to reciprocate naturally anyway. It's just an organic thing when we're that kind of person. So what you can do is, this is part of giving like free gifts. You know, when I mentioned before about often I will have a day or 2 days where I'll go with anyone that orders up orders a product, and the next day or just for today, I'm giving away a week's worth of shakes with that. And the other thing is being a good person. And I know you guys are good people anyway, but just be nice to people. You know, like something that I learned from when I first started working way back when I left college, but even before that, when I was working when I was working in the school holidays, is about the customer is always right. And even though, you know, sometimes they're wrong and you just want to shake the crap out of them, you've got to just go, you know, this is my customer, and yeah, okay, I'm just going to let that go. And you've just got to put a smile on your face and go, well, as long as they're happy, it doesn't matter. So, and because when you do that, they're more likely to go and recommend this to someone else. Oh, go and see Karen because she's amazing. You know, she was really good for me and really helped me, and she went out of her way to support me. So do that. The other thing is giving value or adding value on any of your social media platform, whatever it is that you use, whether you do this through lives or in your groups, always adding value. So everything you do, think about what value you're adding, and think about before you post something, okay, is this going to add value or is this just a moan? You know, is this just a whinge? Don't be like my cousin's husband and whinge because you make no friends. True story. True story. He's hardly got any friends, and all the friends he has are just like him. And you should see the feed of responses on his posts. It's awful. And the other thing is you can do is by contributing to your community. So how is it that you can give back to your community? And I have actually done this myself too. So if there's like fairs, like school fairs, or, you know, something where there's charity giveaways or something like that, or raffles or whatever to support that school or a charity, then offer some products, like offer some free shakes or offer some kind of service or something around the business where you can give them something. But again, in return, you could actually end up getting yourself a customer out of that. So think about how you can actually support your community, because when you give, you often get back. It's just part of it. And even if you don't immediately get back from that person, you're getting back on the bigger scale of things. When we think about the universe, whatever it is that we put out, we're creating that to come back straight back to us. So think about, okay, fingers hurt now. So think about that when you are looking at your own DMO. So, and I don't know how many people have a DMO that they use every day. You definitely need to be doing a DMO every day. How is it that you can bring all of these things into your DMO? So how can you bring commitment into it? So think about this. This is a challenge for you guys that I'm going to give you for the next week. Think about how you can bring commitment into your DMO. So for me, what do? How do I commit to my DMO? I do this. I write my DMO down in a book, and I've got all my dates, and I tick them off as I do them for every day. So write down, that's a really good way of committing. You're writing it down, you're committing to doing your DMO every day. So think about, when how likable are you? So what is it that you're creating? Are you creating rapport by reaching out and actually talking to people and getting to know them, showing an interest in them? You know, are you posting some really good stuff? I know you guys already are, so you've totally ticked that off. Think about how you're creating authority in your DMO. So, you know, what is it that you're teaching? And I'm going to give you guys a challenge this week. I know, Cheryl, you'll be fine with this because you totally do this every day anyway. You rock this, girl. But even Maxine will be cool with this. So for the rest of you who haven't done this before, I'm going to challenge you to do a live this week. And honestly, I tell you what you do the live on. I can see your face, Karen. what I want you to do the live on is I want you to talk about the shakes. That's all. Just talk about the shakes.
Guys this week, thank you.
No, onto your Facebook page, Sarah. How many of you can do it? So that is adding value, guys. That's being an authority figure. This is like showing people that you know what you're doing and that you are offering to help them with their health by showing them what you've got. So just talk about the shakes. It's all you have to do. It can just be 2 minutes. Get on there, say, these are amazing. What do you use them for? I use these every morning when I get up if I'm in a hurry and I'm racing off to work and I've forgotten to have breakfast. I use these when I travel because they're so easy to stick in my bag and I don't have to go out and buy breakfast. You know, it's quick and easy. They're full of superfoods. Read out the ingredients list if you want to. Talk about how scrumptious the vanilla ones are because they're the best. So when you've done your live, and tag me in it so I know you've done it. Tag me in your live. You can do it, Kieran.
What if you don't have any?
What's that, Cheryl?
I don't have any.
Any shakes? That's all right.
No.
Just talk about them. Just talk about them. You don't have to have them. So what you could do is there is ingredients list in your VO, Cheryl. So just print that off and have it in front of you so you've got your ingredients list if you want to. So we're just really reading out the superfoods, not all the other stuff, otherwise it's boring.
Okay.
And just, how they can help people, what they're good for. They're great for people who are chronic meal skippers. They're great for people who are, always rushing around in a hurry and just don't eat properly. They're great for people who don't like breakfast. They're really good for people who go to the gym as a pre or a post workout drink. They're great for snacks. Like a lot of people, they get to, after dinner and it's late at night and they have to have their little sweet treats. Well, they can have this instead. They can even have it as a like a warm drink. Maxine did this the other day. She actually made a hot chocolate out of the shake. So, think about some ideas that you can use them. I wonder what you're doing. So, yeah, challenge, go for it. And now social proof. So how can you bring social proof into your DMO? So maybe sharing a testimonial of someone else's. Maybe getting a 3-way call happening with somebody. Putting some pictures up of our events. So I know we don't have any events at the moment, but if you're on training, take a photo, pop it up, show people what you're doing, show people how awesome your leaders are. How can we create scarcity? So that's about your posture and thinking about, in your DMOs. So when you're, maybe you can think about some ways that you can create some urgency around people who are potential customers or team. How can you do that? How can you get them to close the deal? And of course, reciprocation. How is it that you can give back? How can you give to somebody so that they can, so you can receive that back again to you? How can you be a nice person? We already are. How can you give value? And giving value, can be in a live or it can just be in a post. You guys do that every day anyway. So think about that. Look at Harley. Isn't he adorable? Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys. I'm really looking forward to getting tagged in your lives. You've got this, eh? I'm going to unmute you all.